serving the Republic of the Philippines for more than 75 years. Ito po ang Presidential Broadcast Service.
From the Presidential Palace, Manila, Dateline Malacañang.
Good day, this is Dateline Malacañang. Here are today's Palace top stories. Department of Agriculture or DA Undersecretary Leocadio Sebastian said Filipino farmers are benefiting from global fears of a rice shortage resulting from the adverse possible impact of the El Nino phenomenon, which forced world suppliers to tighten supply in the world market. Data from the Department of Agriculture National Rice Program showed palay prices in March 2023 rose to 17 pesos and 69 centavos a kilo for fresh and 19 pesos and 73 centavos for dry. Compared to the same month last year, palay prices were 15 pesos and 99 centavos for fresh and 18 pesos and 41 centavos for dry palay. President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. concurrently holds the DA portfolio. In April 2023, the price of fresh palay was at 17 pesos and 66 centavos per kilo, and for dry palay it was 20 pesos and 38 centavos, while in April 2022 the prices were 15 pesos and 57 centavos for fresh and 17 pesos and 95 centavos for dry. The highest posted palay price was in Central Luzon at 22 pesos for fresh palay and 25 pesos for dry, according to the DA-NRP data. The DA Regional Field Office 3 covering Nueva Ecija, the rice granary of the country, reported that palay prices in April 2023 was at 20 pesos and 46 centavos for dry palay and 17 pesos and 64 centavos for fresh. These prices are higher compared to the April 2022 rates, which were at 18 pesos and 20 centavos for dry palay and 15 pesos and 67 centavos for newly harvested grains. In addition, the Regional Field Office 2, which covers Isabela, another major rice producing province in Luzon, showed the prices of palay in March 2022 were at 18 pesos and 48 centavos for dry and 15 pesos and 1 centavo for fresh. For March 2023, palay prices in Cagayan Valley region were at 20 pesos and 47 centavos for dry and 16 pesos and 52 centavos for fresh palay. According to Joseph Fajardo of the Occidental Mindoro-based Tao Foods Corporation, his company has been buying palay at very high prices since 2022 from its clustered farmers. Mindoro is one of the provinces where palay prices are at the lowest. Starting as a seed supplier in Sablayan, Mindoro in 2022, Tao Foods is now into value chain operations, seeds, credit, technical support, and has been carrying out buyback scheme. Last March and April, the company bought fresh single palay variety with 77% milling recovery at 19 pesos to 20 pesos for every kilo. Monitoring done by the Philippine Rice Information System showed that average dry palay prices were at 18 pesos and 3 centavos a kilo from January to June last year and 19 pesos and 5 centavos per kilo for the same period this year. For fresh palay, prices for January to June 2022 were at 15 pesos and 9 centavos a kilo and 17 pesos and 4 centavos for the same period this year, according to Darlene K. Matias, Prism Field Operations Lead Senior Research Specialist 2 of PhilRice, Isabela.
Dateline Malacañang.
The Philippines has set its sights on capturing a small piece of the world's billion-dollar bamboo market while simultaneously harnessing its bamboo resources to mitigate climate change. In an interview Monday, newly appointed Department of Agriculture Undersecretary Deogracias Victor Savellano said the incumbent administration, through the Department of Agriculture or DA, is establishing a local version of the bamboo villages business model, which has been proven successful in other Asian countries. He explained that this model entails the mobilization of land, labor, and capital in rural towns, and then focusing them on the cultivation and subsequent processing of bamboo. Yusek Sevillano noted that by 2030, annual revenues from processed bamboo are estimated to reach $90 billion. He said the Bamboo Villages program can help generate additional livelihood for poor farmers and indigenous peoples in ancestral lands while generating foreign exchange for the country. In a recent report by the Philippine Bamboo Industry Development Council or PBIDC, it was revealed that Indonesia currently has about 1,000 bamboo villages while Vietnam has about 100. The PBIDC, an attached agency to the Department of Trade and Industry or DTI, also noted that Thailand is investing some $10 billion to cultivate its domestic bamboo industry so it too can compete for a share in the global bamboo market. Currently, China dominates the international market, generating the biggest bamboo revenue at $35 billion yearly. The DA Undersecretary also explained that aside from its untapped economic potentials, the aggressive planting of bamboo can also serve to fast-track the reforestation of denuded lands under the National Greening Program. As a climate-friendly grass, bamboo absorbs 11 to 15 times the carbon dioxide compared to a hardwood tree while also controlling soil erosion. During a Senate hearing on August 9, Yusek Savellano asserted that an institutionalized bamboo program will be needed to consolidate different government programs on bamboo that are now scattered across agencies. Meanwhile, the PBDIC reported that the primary export destinations of Philippines bamboo products include the United States, Japan, United Kingdom, Germany, and France. As of 2022, investments in the local bamboo industry totaled 89.2 million pesos and domestic sales were placed at 143 million pesos. The sector generated 10,898 jobs, 5,012 micro, small, and medium industries, and 92 community-based enterprises according to the council.
Dateline Malacañang.
The Marcos administration is seeking an allocation of 2 billion pesos in the 2024 National Expenditure Program or NEP for the prevention, treatment, and control of non-communicable diseases such as cancer. In a statement, Department of Budget and Management or DBM Secretary Amena Pangandaman said about 18,695 cancer patients would benefit from the allotment of some 1.02 billion pesos under the Prevention and Control of Non-Communicable Diseases included in the 2024 NEP. A total of 1.7 billion pesos would be allocated for the prevention and control of non-communicable diseases. Secretary Pangandaman said the 1.024 billion pesos of the proposed 1.7 billion peso budget would cover the procurement of 61 different cancer commodities such as trastuzumab, docetaxel, and paclitaxel. She added that an additional 1 billion pesos would be appropriated to the Cancer Assistance Fund or CAF, which will be used to cover the medical expenses of 6,666 cancer patients registered across 31 cancer control access sites nationwide. According to the DBM, the CAF aims to fill the financial gap in cancer diagnostics and laboratories not covered by PhilHealth. The DBM noted that on average, Filipino families spend approximately 150,000 pesos per patient for cancer treatments. The CAF will partially finance outpatient and inpatient cancer control services. The services include the therapeutic procedures, and other cancer medicines needed for the treatment and management of cancer and its care-related components. The DBM said the remaining 682.71 million pesos of the 1.7 billion pesos under the Prevention and Control of Non-Communicable Diseases Initiative would benefit around 124,246 mental health patients. It said the amount will fund mental health medications including sodium valproate, paliperidone, palmitate, and haloperidol for patients on 362 mental health access sites nationwide.
Dateline Malacañang.
The National Capital Region or NCR office of the Department of Labor and Employment or DOLE is now conducting its own investigation into the collapse of a concrete wall at the Quezon City Hall compound that killed a construction worker and injured 3 others last week. According to Maria Teresita Cucueco, Executive Director of the Occupational Safety and Health Center or OSHC, DOLE NCR personnel have already visited the site as part of their probe on the incident.
So alam ko po pumunta na po ang regional office ng NCR doon po sa nangyaring aksidente at nag-investiga na po. Yung may mga, syempre kung may nakikitang mga violations kaya nangyari po ito, ay magbibigay po ng findings doon po at ito na po ang proseso na gagawin ng National Capital Region following the accident investigation.
She said it is part of the role of the DOLE to investigate accidents in workplaces. A construction worker died and 3 others were injured when a wall inside the Quezon City Hall compound collapsed on Thursday night. The incident occurred at a little past 10 p.m. at a construction site in the Civic Center B building. It was reported that the victim was pinned to death by the collapsed wall. He was pulled out from the rubble and was rushed to the nearest hospital but died while undergoing treatment.
Dateline Malacañang.
The Commission on Higher Education or CHED on Monday ordered the Philippine Christian University or PCU to cease and desist from offering non-authorized programs. This came following its issuance last August 15 of a show cause order against the PCU for multiple offenses. In a statement, CHED Chairperson J. Prospero de Vera III warned the public following the PCU's violation of regulations on its operations. De Vera cited a series of violations verified on the CHED's initial findings. Among these include the offering of transnational higher education or TNHE programs without a permit from the government, non-authorized public announcements for its TNHE programs, failure to provide data on its international partners, as well as partnering with institutions abroad with no recognition from its respective governments as quality HEI. De Vera also noted the PCU's non-compliance with the prescribed faculty-to-student ratio for the Doctor of Philosophy in Business Management program and the offering of non-authorized shortened graduate programs through online or distant extension classes. The CHED Legal Department meanwhile told the state-run Philippine News Agency that the PCU is yet to be assessed by the CHED considering its series of non-compliance. The CHED said the PCU violated provisions under the Republic Act 11448 or the Transnational Higher Education Act, its implementing rules and regulations, and 2 CHED memorandum orders.
Dateline Malacañang.
Department of Trade and Industry or DTI Secretary Alfredo Pascual on Monday said the Philippines and the Republic of Korea or South Korea are aiming to sign the Bilateral Free Trade Agreement or FTA next month. Secretary Pascual and South Korea Trade, Industry and Energy Minister An Duc-yeon met on the sidelines of the 55th ASEAN Economic Ministers meeting in Semarang, Indonesia on Sunday. In a Facebook post, Secretary Pascual said he and Minister An welcomed the conclusion of the Philippines-South Korea FTA negotiations and agreed to work for its signing, preferably at the sidelines of the 24th ASEAN Republic of Korea Summit in September 2023. The 24th ASEAN-South Korea Summit will be held in Jakarta, Indonesia next month. The two officials initially met during the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation or APEC Summit in Bangkok, Thailand in November last year, wherein both trade ministers eyed to seal the FTA in the first quarter of 2023. However, Seoul was busy preparing for its presidential elections last year. Meanwhile, South Korea's Ministry of Trade, Industry and Energy or MOTIE has yet to issue a statement on the signing of the Philippines-South Korea FTA. Aside from the signing of FTA, Secretary Pascual said he and his South Korean counterpart are also considering organizing a business forum to further boost trade and investment relations in time for the celebration of the 75th anniversary of Philippines-Korea diplomatic ties.
Dateline Malacañang.
The Department of Public Works and Highways or DPWH on Tuesday reported that it has finished a 72.3 million peso oval track that can be used for major sporting events in the province of Rizal. According to DPWH Region 4A Director Jovel Mendoza, the project entails the installation of 8,510 square meters of artificial grass for the football field and initial construction of a 59.5 meter road network for alignment 1 and 116 meters for alignment 2. Other works include mobilization, earthworks, installation of sheet piles, concreting of pile cops, hand-laid rock embankments from borrow, and demobilization. The oval track is part of the 69,300 square meter Taytay Sports Complex project located in Barangay Muzon, which will also feature a multi-purpose building, stadium bleachers, and an Olympic-sized pool. When completed, the facility will serve as a new sporting event venue in Calabarzon, which will nurture the talents of Rizaleños and boost the morale of Filipino athletes.
Dateline Malacañang.
The Department of National Defense or DND said it is eyeing to further enhance its defense ties with South Korea, which is one of the country's biggest suppliers of military equipment in the ongoing Armed Forces of the Philippines Modernization Program. The statement was made following the courtesy and introductory call of newly appointed South Korea Ambassador to the Philippines, Lee Sang-hwa, to DND Secretary Gilberto Teodoro Jr. on August 17. According to DND spokesperson Arsenio Andolong, Secretary Teodoro recognized the opportunity to diversify defense cooperation with South Korea, which has been among the Philippines' largest partners in terms of defense material and logistics. South Korea has supplied the 12 FA-50PH light jet fighters to the Philippine Air Force, along with the 2 brand new missile frigates for the Philippine Navy or PN. It has also won the contract and is now building 2 more corvettes and 6 offshore patrol vessels for the PN. Noting the enduring friendship and cooperation between the two countries across various fields and concerns, Secretary Teodoro conveyed his deep appreciation for South Korea's assistance to the Philippines in addressing issues such as internal security, natural calamities, and capacity building, according to Andolong. He also said the two officials discussed the anticipated state visit to the Philippines of South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol. The DND spokesperson said the occasion will further reaffirm the commitment of the two countries in strengthening their long-standing relations and further explore ways of building shared opportunities. Andolong said the high-level visit will take place in time for the celebration of the 75th anniversary of Philippines-South Korea diplomatic relations.
Dateline Malacañang.
Filipino and Australian forces on Monday conducted an air assault exercise at Punta Baja in Rizal, Palawan, as the first major training serial for the exercise Alon being carried out by the Armed Forces of the Philippines or AFP and the Australian Defense Force or ADF from August 14 to 31. According to AFP Public Affairs Office Chief Lieutenant Colonel Enrico Gil Ileto, the exercises marked the first major training serial as part of the bilateral cooperation between between the AFP and the ADF as part of the latter's Indo-Pacific Endeavor or IPE activities for 2023. This involved coordinated air, land, and sea actions to simulate realistic combat scenarios, enhancing the forces' preparedness and operational readiness. Elato said the Palawan air assault exercise involved the insertion of ground combat elements via MV-22B Osprey tilt-rotor aircraft from Marine Rotational Force Darwin or MRFD, launched from the Royal Australian Navy's landing helicopter dock HMAS Canberra to the Punta Baja airfield last August 20. The helicopter assault force established a link with the 3rd Marine Brigade to secure the Punta Baja airfield and set up a forward arming and refueling point. The exercise involved 175 troops from the AFP and 2 platoons from the ADF with support from the U.S. Marine Corps or USMC, as well as a Philippine Marine Corps ground-based security force along with HMAS Canberra and frigate HMAS Anzac and air support by USMC MV-22B and Royal Australian Air Force aircraft. IPE-23 serves as Australia's flagship international engagement activity in the Southeast Asian and Indian Ocean regions. It aims to promote security, stability, and stronger partnerships through bilateral and multilateral engagement, training, capacity building, and humanitarian efforts. Exercise Alon 2023 marks the first bilateral amphibious exercise between Australia and the Philippines aimed at enhancing interoperability and enabling the forces to share tactics, techniques, procedures, and best practices in the conduct of amphibious operations.
Dateline Malacañang.
The Armed Forces of the Philippines or AFP on Monday announced its units will be participating in the U.S.-led Pacific Partnership 2023 as part of its efforts to beef up humanitarian assistance and disaster relief or HADR capabilities. It will be in San Fernando, La Union starting Tuesday, August 2022 to August 31. According to AFP Public Affairs Office Chief Lieutenant Colonel Enrique Gil Ileto, the Pacific Partnership 2023 or PPP-23, the 18th iteration this year, is the U.S. largest annual multinational HADR exercise aimed at enhancing preparedness and interoperability with 7 host partner nations in the Indo-Pacific. Aside from HADR, PP23 will feature engineering, medical, dental, and veterinary activities. Ilato said the HADR facet will focus on 3 primary training, namely mountain search and rescue, urban search and rescue, and water search and rescue. Refreshers on basic life support, incident command system, and operations center management will also be conducted. A culminating training on an earthquake tsunami response scenario will also be conducted to round up the HADR exercises. Meanwhile, medical and dental civic action programs will focus on exchanges and community education to help build resilience and enhance capabilities to respond to HADR needs. Topics include public health, infectious diseases, diabetes, cardiovascular disease, cancer, forensic dentistry, oral surgery, and diet and nutrition. Engineering projects are lined up and will be performed by the American, South Korean, and Filipino military engineers to address critical infrastructure concerns. Elato said the exercise underscores the Philippines' commitment to regional stability, disaster response readiness, and the well-being of every Filipino and its neighbors. He said the exercise will help the country hurdle challenges by fostering goodwill and fostering safer, more resilient communities for generations to come.
Dateline Malacañang.
And that concludes today's edition of Dateline Malacañang. For Radyo Pilipinas World Service, this is Win Peñano. Good day.
From the Presidential Palace, Manila, Dateline Malacañang.